Tech coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains, but trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Wednesday, October 30th. Wednesday, October 30th, 2024. We are almost on the last day of October. Tomorrow is Halloween, and we will be live. We will be live. It might be a little bit annoying. Because, you know, trick-or-treaters and all that stuff. But we'll figure it out. We will figure it out because we have to work on our Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. We have no options. Even if we get annoyed with maybe people are walking outside and ringing the doorbell and all that good stuff, we still got to put in the work. We still have to get to work. So that's what we're going to do. We show up here to work and have fun, because if we're not having fun, then why are we even doing it? Why are we even doing it? Well, there is always a reason for the money, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I am Tech Coach Ralph. We are Engineer Twin. This is the Coffee and Kata morning show. We're going to jump into our news, and then we're going to get into looking at these tests that we've been writing in Flutter to try to figure out how to troubleshoot and get some screenshots. That's the plan for today. But first, do me a big favor. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content, as well as go to techcoachralph.dev. We have some exclusive content over there that will help you level up into your tech skills. And I just want to say a big good morning to my number one tech pookie, my guy, Yakar. Good morning to you, Yakar. How is it going for you out there on the West Coast? It's 4:54 a.m. for my guy Yakar over there. Ooh, I'm telling you, he doesn't sleep. He does not sleep. You know how they say that New York is a city that doesn't sleep? Yakar is New York. He does not sleep. Always working. Any time of the day, he's working. All right. So shout out to my guy Yakar. All right, let's get into the news for today. All right, let me zoom in on this. All right, cool. There we go. All right, let's jump over to the news. All right, so first up, McDonald's reverses U.S. sales drop. So on Monday we spoke about that. It wasn't that the quarter pounder with cheese was not the source of the E. coli outbreak. It was actually slivered onions. So shout out to the vegetables for the win. But today McDonald's reverses U.S. sales drop. So let's see what they're talking about here. So McDonald's beats expectations on earnings last quarter. It reported on Tuesday and saw same-store sales rise slightly in the U.S. The burger behemoth is still experiencing weaker traffic as consumers cut back on restaurant spending, though its $5 value meal helped soften the blow. Not reflected in McDonald's third quarter results, the deadly E. coli outbreak that caused the company to briefly pull the quarter pounder from some stores. Foot traffic at its U.S. restaurants fell after the outbreak was publicized. CEO Chris Kempczynski told investors on the earnings call that McDonald's is committed to making this right. But remember, it is not caused by the quarter pounder. It was actually caused by the slivered onions, all right? So let's just make sure we get that right. Slivered onions for the loss, quarter pounder with or without cheese for the win. I haven't had a quarter pounder in forever, to be honest with you. But, it is what it is. Good morning to you, Roxy. How are you doing today? Hopefully you had an amazing night. And hopefully you had a lot of fun last night as well. Hopefully you had a lot of fun with us. Thank you for hanging out as always. All right, let's jump over to the next story for this morning. Starbucks ramps up pressure on return to office. Let me just wait for this timer to go off and then I'm going to restart it.
Okay, let's move on.
Good morning to you, Roxy. Hopefully you're doing well. All right. So Starbucks ramps up pressure on RTO. And remember, we had the question, I think it was from AJ yesterday about going into QA, wanting to work remotely. And I'm like, that remote work, you might be able to get it, but it might take some time. So let's see what they're talking about over here, right? Let's see what they're talking about. Starbucks corporate employees have been advised that if they don't come back to the office at least 3 days a week, it could be 5 like Amazon, it could result in disciplinary action up to and including separation. Who sang the song Separated? Who sang the song Separated? If anybody in the chat remembers, who sang the song Separated? Bloomberg reports, citing an internal memo. Those with physical, mental, sensory impairment, or other disabilities can seek an exception. The coffee giant move ramps up return office pressure, given that an accountability process to determine who is and isn't complying will be enforced starting in January. New CEO Brian Nichols' arrangement allows him to live in California and commute to Starbucks Seattle headquarters only as needed. I'm sure some employees are going to say that's not fair, but guess what? He is the CEO, and they say that under the last CEO, that Starbucks was, they were serving cold coffee, like it was on the way out. So now this new CEO comes in, and they're like, all right, well, we're going to have to get back to the office at least 3 days a week, or you could be separated. All right, you could be separated from the company. So it is what it is. You just gotta, and now they're giving you the choice to make. And by January, you're either going to find another place to go to, or you're going to be in the office and you're going to work there. I wonder what kind of additional, what kind of corporate roles do they have for Starbucks? I'm guessing they have their IT department working on the website and ordering online and things like that. But I'm just wondering what other roles. But yeah, all right, cool. So, and we got Alexis in the building. Good morning to you, Alexis. Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you had a good night. Hopefully you had a lot of fun last night. And we have Adrian Akers in the building. AJ, all right, that was me with the question, and very much appreciated. My pleasure. It was such a pleasure to have you as well. Good morning to you, Adrian. Hopefully you're having a great morning and you had a great night. All right, so let's continue to our next story for today. All right. So that's Starbucks. Sorry, Starbucks employees, if you're hoping to stay working from home, but pretty much all companies are pretty much requiring some type of return to office. It might not be every day, but a lot of companies, they want to see faces and they want to see butts in the seats. All right. Or maybe you're at your standing desk. Who knows? Right. Anyways, let's continue. Alphabet, Google, profits soar on AI boom. So Alphabet stocks soared on Tuesday after Google's parent company reported profits and sales that exceeded expectations as advancements in artificial intelligence helped fuel growth in its search and cloud businesses. Still, the company faces a confluence of challenges, like not showing Joe Rogan's interview, maybe one of them, or maybe not. After a federal judge declared Google's search engine a monopoly, the Justice Department proposed remedies, including a possible breakup of its business entities. At the same time, scrutiny is also intensifying over whether Google's dominant market share in internet search is at risk from AI competitors. It is a bit interesting, right? It is a bit interesting because it's like Google they just can't please. Everybody hates Google at this point, right? Because the Justice Department is saying like, oh, you guys are a monopoly and we're trying to break you up and make internet search back to the 1990s, stuff like that. We're going to have to go back to using Excite and Lycos and Yahoo search and stuff like that. And then on the other side, they're saying, oh my God, they're suppressing, they're censoring. We can't find the Joe Rogan interview that has probably like 40 million views at this time. So they just can't win. They just should. It's not going to work out well for you. It's not going to work out well. I'm telling you, Google, you got to figure that part out because I do not want to see Google broken up. But it is what it is. It is what it is. We got my friend in the chat, my bestest friend in the whole wide world who made it here. We got my guy, Mitch. Mitch says, achoo. Well, God bless you, Mitch. God bless you. Hopefully you are doing well. Hopefully you had a lot of fun. And hopefully you jammed out to your song yesterday. All right. We're moving on. I'm just saying. All right. Let's continue. And that's the Google CEO right there. That's Google. It must be tough being him, although he probably has an insane amount of money. But, everybody hates you. Everybody hates you. All right. So I don't hate you, though. I'm just saying. I'm just going to put it out there right now. I do not hate the CEO of Google. I am not one of those. All right. Let's continue. Confidence in the economy soars. Okay. Consumer confidence leaped 11% in October, the biggest jump since March of 2021. Oh, that's interesting. What happened in March of 2021 that made confidence go down so much? And what's happening in October of 2024 that's making confidence go so high? The world may never know. The Confidence Board's index also showed that expectations for future economic conditions in the U.S. surged by 8%, while views on the availability of jobs rebounded too. According to the board's chief economist, a separate report shows fewer job openings in September, the most recent month for which data is available. The Labor Department said available positions fell by more than 400,000 to 7.44 million, but that hires rose by 123,000. 123,000 hires in a month is a pretty low number. It is pretty low. But, it is what it is. But it is good to see that confidence is surging by 11% in October. Let's see if that holds strong for November. Because as much as you can be saying right now that you are 11% more confident than you were in September and the biggest jump since March of 2021, you could easily end up saying, I'm in a bind, Nate. Because it sounds like for the past 3 years, people were in a bind. And they even felt like, I hate it here.
I want to go.
But you know where you will never hate? You will never hate being on this channel, hanging out with me and my friends. Unless you're Mitch, you might hate it sometimes, but, or Ferris might hate it sometimes too. But overall, you will have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun, and we hang out and we, tell jokes and listen to amazing, amazing music that Roxy loves, and Darcel, I see you, and I got you, Darcel. I'm telling you, tomorrow, be there. As soon as you show up, we're going to play your song, all right? All right, let's go on to our last article for today. All right, this one, I just had to sneak this one in. I had to sneak this one in because for all the haters out there, who hate, not going to mention any names, Alexis, your car, Mitch, right? Not mentioning any names though, right? Universal Music makes AI moves. I am ahead of the curve, all right? So, Universal Music Group, the world's largest record label conglomerate, continues to make bets on artificial intelligence, like me, right? This week's UMG announced a pact with startup Clayvision, which it described as an ethical, keyword ethical, AI music company. Though the exact parameters of the deal are unknown, UMG argued in a statement that building generative AI music models ethically and fully respectful of copyright will dramatically lessen the threat of human creators. I say get rid of them. Right? That's my take on it. I don't care about the human creators. I don't care about celebrities. Just make yourself your own celebrity, all right? Make yourself your own celebrity, and you'll never go wrong. You'll never let yourself down, all right? UMG also unveiled its first project produced under a partnership with AI company Sound Labs, a machine-generated Spanish language version of Brenda Lee's 1958 hit Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, made with Lee's permission, all right? Going straight to the bank with this one, all right? I'm just saying, you see, I am ahead of the curve. We just got to get the old timers out of there. And now set the trend for the new wave, the new generation. It's time to turn the page. Yes, turn the page on the music of the old days and embrace the music of the future.
Okay, let's move on.
And with that being said, that is our news for today. Let's clap it up for the news. All right, let me check the chat and then we will get to a little bit of work figuring out this testing stuff. All right, let's see. So Alexis made sure she said good morning to Mitch. We got my guy Darcel in the building. Good morning to you, Darcel. How are you doing today?
Let's get it.
Oh, that's so sweet. Aww. We all love Mitch. We all love Mitch, right? We all love Mitch. Mitch says, grow up. Oh my goodness. Roxy says, facts is something I must have said, which I forgot in particular, but if I said it, it must be right. Mitch says that he hates it here sometimes. Alexis says, if you say so. Oh, Alexis, why? Alexis, it is time to turn the page, right? Turn the page on the music of the old days and embrace the music of the future. You see, Adrian, AJ gets it. Turn the page, right? We are turning the page on the music that was so destructive to music of the future, to tech music. All right? Just saying. I'm just saying. All right. All right. With that being said, let's get into a little bit of, you know what? Speaking of testing, Adrian, AJ, I'm actually working on, like, what I'm working on in the mornings is what I'm working on in the morning is like trying to write these tests for the mobile app. So, I mean, it's really, really different type of testing than what you might be looking into, but it is still good to get exposure to the different type of testing. Because this right here, these are called widget tests for the mobile app. These are called widget tests for the mobile app, which are similar to unit tests that developers would be writing, but it's good exposure as well, right? So, what we were trying to do, I'll show you this real quick. Let's go over to here. So we were working on getting these tests to work, right? And the issue, so Roxy says, raise the bar. Raise the bar. Yes, I agree 100%. We gotta raise the bar. We gotta raise the bar. Enough of the negativity. Let's create let's create our own positive music, right? Let's create our own positive music. And Mitch says, Ralph only likes people who agree with his trash. No, I like everybody, but the people who agree with my trash are the people who are correct, all right? The people who agree with my trash are the people who are correct, but I do like everyone, all right? I love everyone. I love people even when they are wrong, all right? All right, so anyways, let's go with, all right, so we're gonna run these tests, and what we were trying to do, you know what? Because I don't think Adrian has seen this before, so let me pull this up real quick. I'm gonna start the app that we've been building. It's actually in the App Store, where it's the time cost calculator, and I will give you a quick preview of the way that it works. So I'm going to be starting up our emulator, and then I'm going to start the app on the emulator just so you can have an idea of what it is. Oh wow, it's already running. Look at that. How'd that happen? All right, so let me go ahead and reset. Right. So the way that this works, right, is it's a formula that calculates, it takes how many hours that there's in a year, and you would put in like how much total money you earned for the year. Like, so let's say you earned, a good, let's say 150K, right? It's telling you that an hour of your time, not divided by 40, but divided by 8,760, because that's how many hours are in a year. An hour of your time, so whether you're sleeping for that hour, whether you are eating, whether you are working, whether you are at the gym, whatever it is that you're doing, right? An hour of your time is worth $17.12. And then it breaks it down to a minute of your time is worth 29 cents, and a second of your time is worth 0.005 cents, right? And the reason we break it down like that is because it shows you how to put value on every bit of the time that you have. The limited time, the most expensive thing that we own, that we have, is time, because it is always running out. So, and then you can put, so this is a feature that we just added like over the past couple of months, where you can say, all right, how many hours did I spend on a particular activity, see how much it costs. So let's say you are, I don't know, let's say you enjoy playing sports, right? Let's say you're playing flag football. And how many hours did you spend playing flag football? I'd say you spent 2 hours and 25 minutes, right? Playing flag football. So it cost you $41.38, right? Now, all that is information. You decide if it's worth it or not, right? But now let's say you also have to like pay to be on the team or something like that. I don't know, pay for the game. Let's say you spent like an additional $20 on it, right? So now it costs you $61.38. However, let's say there was money on the line for the game and you actually made $100. So now you actually made $38.62 by playing flag football for 2 hours and 25 minutes and paying $20 buy-in fee, right? So it's just informational, helping you to know how much your time is worth, and that way you can make decisions based on the information, right? Instead, because a lot of people, they just wing it, like, oh, I'm just gonna go and do this, I'm just gonna go do that. So everything that I do, like when I go play basketball on Saturday mornings or on Sunday mornings, and I'm shooting threes from 35 feet, which Mitch, I did make a song about playing basketball on Sunday morning, shooting from 35 feet. And they actually love it. All right. But I digress. But it just tells you like, all right, well, the value that I get from doing this is I get to get some exercise, some networking, all this type of stuff. So like, yeah, it's worth it, how much it's costing me. So it's just information, right? So that is the calculator in a nutshell. Just for informational purposes, helps you visualize things, right? Big ol' ball. It's costing me an arm and a I have not got into pickleball because I see how addictive people are to pickleball, and I don't even think I have the capacity to fit. I keep getting invited to go play pickleball. I'm like, I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. But shout out to pickleball. All right. So that's pretty much the calculator. And soon after we finish with these updates, this feature is going to be in the store. Right now, it just has like this as one field where you can type in the total amount of time you spent on it. But that's pretty much the calculator, right? So with that being said, what we've been doing is we've been working on writing tests for it. Widget tests. We already have our formula tests taken care of, but in testing, you want to be able to have to be able to just run your tests, and that's part. See, and this is part of automation, to be honest with you, right? But you want to be able to run your tests so that if you make a change, you run it, you run your regression test, and everything still passed. Right? All right, cool, we're safe. But so it's all about having that confidence that you didn't break anything, because one of the worst things that you can do, especially when it comes to mobile development, is you push a breaking change to the App Store, and now like a bunch of users get affected, and now everyone's unhappy with your changes and stuff like that. All right, so that's why we focus on heavily testing these mobile applications before we push them up. So now that leaves us with where we were at on Monday, where let me run these tests. When we would run these tests, this one right here, and I'm using the ID of Android Studios, but when we run these tests, and this application is built in Flutter and Dart, when we run these tests, we get errors, and some of these errors I'm not too concerned about, like validating the border outline. Can always come back to that one, but the ones that worry me more is when these numbers are failing, but it's a testing issue and it's not actually an application issue, because like as you saw over here, the calculations are correct, but something with the test, it's not being properly updated. So what I'm working on is trying to get a screenshot of what's happening, so that I can have a visual to see like, why is the number that it's expecting this number, it's actually getting this number, same as one of these other fields over here. This one, it's expecting this number, and it's actually getting this number. So no, it's not. Where is the one that it's expecting this number? It's actually getting this number. So trying to figure out where the disconnect is happening, because if we type it in manually, it's going to be correct, right? So that's pretty, yeah. So let's see. AJ says regression test. Yeah. So regression testing is basically when a developer makes a change, you want to like it's a suite of tests that are ran again to make sure whatever change that developers made, it didn't break any existing functionality. So so usually like regression tests are automated, so that whatever change is made, you just run them, and you can run them anytime. Sometimes they run on a schedule. Sometimes they run when code is merged or pushed up to GitHub, and it automatically tells you that that what's passing or what's failing, and if something is failing, then you got to go investigate it, because it might have been something that the developers broke in the updates that they made. So it gives you fast, immediate feedback. So that's why we have automated API tests. That's why we have automated UI tests. The new changes, you might have to test those manually until you get them automated. But the old changes, the old development, you have to make sure that works, and you have to make sure that works fast, right? Because you can't let it linger. You can't let the developers just keep making changes and changes and changes. Sometimes even the developers run those regression tests to make sure that their changes are not breaking anything before they send it to actual testing, But the automation tests It's supposed to be QA that's responsible for it. All right. But yeah, like if you have any questions about testing, feel free to ask. I'll even make a whole stream about testing because we haven't spoken about it in a long time. And earlier this year, we were doing a bunch of different types of testing and automation and stuff like that. But automation testing is primarily for regression testing. Okay. All right. So what we are investigating is how to use these golden tests. Yes, golden tests. Okay. Let's see to here. So, they didn't give like the full details on this though. Let me see. So they say test widgets, golden test. See, I don't see the. Let's see. So Flutter test update goldens. I don't like this article. Let's go back. Let's find a different one. Let's try this one. We need a better Katarina. I'm pretty sure I've heard the name Katarina in a lot of Russian spy movies. All right, let's see. Let's look. All right, so how to create golden tests, right? So what are golden tests? Let's take a quick look. All right, golden tests are basically widget tests. A special mather compares your widget with an image file and expects it to look the same. Well, that's not what I want to do. Golden files are image files that were created from a manually verified widget. Not exactly what I want to do, but I just want to take a screenshot. All right, let's see. In Flutter test folder, we create golden widget tests with the following code. All right, so we have that match golden file. So this one is to match the file, which is not what I'm looking to do. Let me see. As you see, you start creating your golden test as a usual widget by. All right, so we got that. Oh wait, it's not what I want. How to generate golden files. Now it's time to generate these manually verified images. If you would like to generate images for all your golden tests, it's not really what I want. Let me see. All right, let's search again. It's not all right. Take screenshots of Flutter widget tests. Let's see. Generate screenshots for a Flutter app with golden testing, and upload them to the stores. Well, I don't want to update to the store, but all right. All right. Let me see. Gotcha. All right. The reason I want to generate these tests because I want to see what the application is getting because maybe we have a timing issue. Let's see. Taking screenshots and generating illustrations. At the same time, all right, let me see. I first take a screenshot of the screen that I want. I load the generated image using memory image. I generate a new Flutter widget with all the needed decorations, yada, 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 to decorate the screen. To decorate the screenshot, I take the final screenshot of the widget. Still not what I want. All I want is a screenshot. Is that so much to ask for? Let's see what Stack Overflow says. I see. Flutter integration test example has the skeleton to perform screenshots. First, create the driver for the integration test. I guess we'd be doing integration tests. Then in your test, interesting. That seems a bit much. Oh, okay. From Flutter version 2.5, you can take a screenshot in a very simple way. Here is a manual on how to do it. All right, so this might be headed somewhere. Let's see what this has to say. All right. Just replace your test driver integration by this. Interesting. Pump and settle. Into your test, add binding, take screenshot. All right, let's see. You can create a simple helper function for take screenshot in various devices. Pump widget, pump and settle. Interesting. All right. So for the timing, I'm gonna just try something real quick. So pump widget. Let's see. You know what? All right, hold on one second. Let me add a couple of pump and settles real quick. All right, so we have the pump and settle for, what if I did let's try something real quick, right? So do a pump and settle over here, pump and settle over here. Add just a bunch of pump and settles. I just want to see like what is causing it not to get the right numbers. If I can run this one on its own. I'm supposed to run test. All right. Let's see. See, it's not getting updated. And that's why I need the screenshot. Because I can't see what it's trying to do. Like when we do it manually, it works, but we can't see it. All right, well, let's try to do the screenshot thing. All right, so we're going to need, you can create a simple header, or let's go back up to here. All right, I would like to introduce a simple manual about how to take screenshots during integration tests in Flutter from Flutter 2.5. You can take screenshots in your integration test a very simple way. If you didn't set up integration tests yet, set it up by this manual. All right, let's go to this manual. All right. All right, so to run integration tests, add the integration test package as a dependency to your Flutter test file. All right, so let me go and do that. It would have to be a dev dependency. And to migrate existing projects that use Flutter. All right, so we don't have that. Test written with the integration test package can perform the following tasks. Run on the target device. To test multiple Android or iOS, use Firebase test. Run from host. That's not what. All right. I guess we have to see what's going on, but that is not the way that we want to do it, because this is actually an integration test and not a widget test. But for the time being, so we can see what the error is, I guess we have to go the long way home. All right, let's go back to over here. All right, so replace your test driver integration test by this code right here. All right, let's go into the testing folder. We're gonna do new Dart file. Let's call that integration test. And we can add that. I'm just going to copy this code over here. And let's say the current SDK is 3.5 because, interesting. So that means that, can this work on our version of Flutter? Well, it says, yeah, from that version forward, it should be able to work. Let's see. Well, let's do Flutter 3.5.3 widget tests. Screenshot. I'm not the most familiar with the widget test, but let's see. View Flutter widget test and simulation. Take a screenshot of all content, including off-screen. Screenshots taken with live test widget Flutter binding. A well-tested app has unit tests and widget tests. Single function, we got that. Widget tests in other UI frameworks referred to as component tests. Test a single widget. We're trying to do. Confidence low for unit tests. Quick, few dependencies. Higher confidence, the highest confidence integration test. So we have to write all three tests. We have our unit tests written. Having a little bit of issue with the widget test. So a widget test, a single widget. The goal of the widget test is to verify the widgets look and interacts as expected. I mean, yeah, we do got it. That does have to show up. Testing a widget involves multiple classes and requires a test environment that provides appropriate widget lifecycle context. For example, the widget test being tested should be able to receive and respond to user actions and events, perform layouts, and instantiate child widgets. A widget test is therefore the more comprehensive than unit tests. Figures, yeah. However, like a unit test, a widget test environment is replaced with an implementation much simpler than a full-blown UI system. True. The problem is with our widget test is that it is not it's not showing us the updates. Like we see it when we do it on the app, but we don't see it. It doesn't reflect in the widget test. And that's the part that we're not sure of. And we can't see what's going on, which is also another problem. And therefore, that's why I wanted my screenshots. So let's go back to our golden screenshots. Flutter golden tests. Compare widget with snapshot. I mean, it should be able to take the snapshot, right? How to create a golden test, all right? So hello world. Back to Katarina. All right, so got all that. Test widget. Expect later, find by type my app. As you see, you start creating your golden test as a usual widget test by pumping your widget. All right, we got that. Once the widget is pumped, it is compared with the image. I don't really care to do that right now. We use expect later because matches golden file is asynchronous matcher. The method expect later works exactly as the method expects, but returns a future that completes when the matcher has been finished. Let's see something. What if we were to do? Let me get rid of this.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Let's go to. Do we have an expect later here? I don't know. Let's see what happens with that. Let's see what happens with that. Then we'll wrap it up for today. Okay, gotta delete that apparently. Let's see what we get over here. Still getting the same thing. So I don't know. More investigation needs to be done. More investigation needs to be done. But that is all the time that we have for today. Gotta get to the day. Gotta get to the day. All right. Let me check the chat as we wrap up for today. Let's see. Mitch says, I shoot from the real 35 feet. You can catch that. It is what it is. It is. Should I add that to your song, Mitch? Should I add that to your song? Let me know. Let me know. You know, I am willing to do it for you. All right. Because sometimes you just gotta, you know, just kidding. We gotta go. All right. Let me see. Alexis says, yep, I know folks upgrading paddles every 3 months. It is ridiculous. See, I can't have those problems. I cannot have those problems. All right, let's see. It says, I have multiple panels because I thought they would make me better and found out I'm not sure. I'm sure no matter what I had, my game is straight trash. Oh. Mitch wants his creme brulee. Adrian meant paddles. You know, honestly, I was like, I guess they're called paddles. I have no idea. I have no idea what anything in that sport is called. Mitch says, I could have told you that it's not the paddle, it's you. Well, you know, when Mitch makes fun of you for the first time, that's how you know that you've been accepted by Mitch. All right, so you are part of the family now, Adrian. Mitch says, all trash, you know? And Mitch says that he is rarely ever wrong, which Mitch is correct. But the caveat is, except when he goes up against me, because Mitch will admit to you that I have been right. I have defeated him more times than none, right? I'm just saying, way more than, I'm just saying. All right, anyways, we are about to wrap it up for the day. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been another great week. We have 2 more days of the week. Tomorrow we're going to be going live on working on the Urban Dictionary of Economic Data. Today we're going to be talking about Fibonacci sequence pointing for Agile, breaking down like how the numbers work, where it came from, why it's the most used in Agile pointing, all of that good stuff. So you definitely want to tune in for the premiere at noon Eastern time today. And yes, and then we have our Bug Bite on Friday. We're going live Saturday morning for the economic talk, all that good stuff. All right. And that is our week. But as for today, we're done for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And that's it. So, you know how we like to wrap up the show. You know, I'm going to play my outro music that you guys love so much. All right. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday and a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week.
Tech Coach Ralph, tough as nails, no disguise. Pushing limits, yeah, he's that kind of guy. At first it's harsh, the rules feel like chains. But trust the process, there's sunshine in the rains. He cracks the whip, but it's all in love. Results shining bright like stars above. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. Days turn to weeks, skills sharp and fast. What once was a struggle now feels like a blast. Step by step, we rise and we glow. With Ralph in our corner, we're ready to show. Singing his praises, can't keep it inside. From hard ass to hero, he's our pride. Tech Coach Ralph, you light the way. Through sweat and tears, you help us play. With every lesson, we find our might. From morning grind to the stars at night. So here's to Ralph, the coach we need in this game of growth. He plants the seed. So here's to Ralph,